with my car? Seems like it runs like shit. Yeah, don't say. Oh, so good to be back in Amarillo, Texas, where it's already freaking raining. So that car that you just saw, I didn't build that car. It just came here for some issues after it was built by a previous shop, so I'm just fixing it. But I thought you guys would like to hear it idle. It's got a really nasty modular head shop NA cam in it, but it was built by another shop and it's had a bunch of issues, so I've been trying to figure it out, clean it up. But anyways, this morning we got back at 8 a.m. from FL2K. It was about a 19-hour drive. We drove we drove straight through. I mean, we stopped for food a couple times, stopped to let the dogs go potty, get diesel, spend my life savings on diesel. But got home at 8 a.m., slept till about 11:30. My phone was going crazy. The service of the track was terrible, so I told everyone, I'm like, hit me up Monday and I'll catch up. And yeah, I'm still trying to catch up. But anyways, literally first thing I did was Kennedy and I went 8, and then I was like, all right, I got to go to the shop because we, being gone pretty much a full week, and then the weekend before that we went and tested the S550 with Barry for the first time. So it's just been nonstop, and so we're kind of behind at the shop. I had a guy that's been kind of helping us do some of the grunt work around here, and actually, I don't know why I do this, but I gave the dude a key thinking, I was like, hey, here's the list of stuff you can get done, and never showed up and just ghosted me. So that's how easy it is to find good help these days. So it's going to be a rough week for me and Marvin trying to catch up on the shop because I don't know what happened to the other guy. But anyways, fishing up that S197, pretty much injectors, spark plugs, a couple other small things, and then we're retuning it with Lund. It's on pump gas right now. We're going to switch to E85. That thing will be out of here. And then we've got Mike's car actually came back. I did the BL Fab single turbo kit on a long time ago. I say a long time ago, a year ago. Fuel system, boost controller, things like that. Now he wants to change the rear gear, upgrade the axles finally, and do a couple other like small things. But that car, it turned out super nice in the engine bay. I love it. We recently did like strange brakes all the way around. He did wheels, a couple other small things. So this car it's a pretty heavy hitter on the street once we turn it up. The red car, I don't think I filmed much, but essentially that one got a fast forward short block. So we assembled the long block. I locked the cams out and did all the timing, and yeah, locking cams is so much fun, let me tell you. So I locked the cams out, put the heads on, head studs, head gaskets, pretty much assembled the whole entire long block. We just brought the short block. We upgraded a little bit bigger precision turbos this time around. I think you had 62s before. We went with 64, 66 dual ball bearing. Fixing a couple of other little things. And it has my Power Glide kit that's on the website, coyotedirect.com. Shameless plug, but it does have my Power Glide kit in there already. That another shop actually installed, but he brought it to us for the built motor and the other upgrades. So we really got to get that one finished up, but the motor's back in it. We just got to like tidy up everything, put some fluids in it, break the motor and all that good stuff. So yeah, back at the shop. FL2K was freaking amazing. The thing that sucks living so far out in Texas, I've said this 1,000 times, but I'll remind you, we live out in Amarillo, Texas, so we're far, man. We're 6 hours from Dallas, 10 hours from Houston, and 20 plus hours from Florida. So any of the big races like TX2K we're 10 hours from, FL2K we're 20 hours from, Mod Nats we're like 19 hours from, World Cup Finals, which haven't been to that. I'd really like to go. I think we're like 25, 26 hours if we drive. So if I went to a World Cup Finals, I'd definitely fly. There's a possibility that I'm going this year. I'll keep you guys updated on that. But FL2K was awesome, man. It was a really good time. We worked through some issues of the car. Like I said, it's essentially a new setup. We got new owner, new driver. So trying to get him comfortable with the car, which he's getting really good at it. I mean, you guys saw the light he cut on Cletus. It was insane. So just getting him comfortable with creating habits of doing certain things racing wise. And then when we bring the car around, in between rounds, certain maintenance things that we do in between rounds. So just getting him comfortable with that. And then we were working through a few small issues. We had some electrical issues, a couple tuning issues, not like actual tune related, just stuff in the tune we're trying to clean up. Changed spark plugs, the plugs were fouled. Just a few like small odds and ends. Finally, the suspension is working. Shock data looks good. So we're moving forward on that, which is exciting. And now actually the car is coming back to me on Wednesday. It's going to go to Joe's. We had an issue at TX2K with the front bumper out. You guys probably remember the picture, but the hood freaking lifted up like crazy. The front bumper was getting messed up. And so I bought a new hood for the car, and we hadn't been that fast yet. So now we realized the bumper just isn't going to handle it. There's too much airflow in the bumper because we don't have the upper grille, the lower grille. There's no fog lights. There's a lot of air going in, and it's just picking up the hood, and it's ruining the bumper. So essentially, it drooped the bumper down. It broke one of the brackets. And so I've had a solid piece, one-piece Featherlight bumper this whole time. And I told Barry when he bought the car, he can have the bumper whenever he wants to get it installed. So we're at the point where he's doing enough mile an hour. It needs a solid one-piece bumper. We're going to cut a hole for the turbo in the intercooler, try and make it look good. But we are going to put that bumper on. We're going to do some maintenance on the car because we ran it pretty good over the weekend. And there's one electrical issue that Joe and I need to track down that's still kind of throwing us off. So it's actually going to go to Joe's so we can do the hood. The hood's already mounted. I just got to finish the trim rings. Didn't have time when we were trying to get the car wrapped. We were trying to do a lot of stuff before we took the car to FL2K, but I got to finish the trim rings. The hood's mounted. Probably we need to adjust a couple of the Zeus's, but the big thing will be supporting the fenders, mounting the new bumper. We need to put a panel in between the trunk area and the driver compartment. It's open right now. You're supposed to have that, supposed to have a panel there. You need to put that panel there. He got new carbon tillets for it instead of the Kirkies, so we're going to put the carbon tillets in it and just maintenance the car and get it ready because he is going to World Cup in Maryland, which is pretty exciting. There's a possibility that I might go. I don't know for sure yet. There's a slight possibility I would go, which would be freaking amazing. I could help him with the car, get him dialed in, get that thing going fast because the air up there is pretty much up there. It's mine shaft air. You either blow your shit or you break records. So hopefully we're doing the latter or the before, whichever one I said first. But FL2K was awesome, man. It's cool because, like I said, it's so far out that there's people we only see when we go to these big races. So that was awesome to see everybody out there. And then, it really gets me motivated to start building my new car, which will be released in the next video. But it also made me realize, like, the car that we're building next, these guys are flying in these street car classes. And I'm really excited about the Extreme 28 class. That one looks fun. I want to build the car for that as well. But, Cletus literally cleaned up the street car class in Extreme 28. And I remember 2 years ago, Rick Prospero, he's the one with the green RX-7. It's got a big block Chevy, twins. He was cleaning up all the street car stuff. He was already going 680s, 2-3 years ago. Probably further than that, but that's when I first saw him and the first time I was in a class with him. And now it's, everyone's starting to catch up. Cletus has got a big block with twins. But what's crazy, so Cletus, his car is definitely more of a street car, does the drag and drive stuff, all that. But Brett LaSala's new car, Snot Rocket 2.0, posted some footage on it. And that thing ended up going 666 at like 213 in this little tiny 302 cubic inch. I'm sure it's bored out to like a 311, 315, something like that. But this little 302 cubic inch twin 76 millimeter turbo Coyote freaking keeping up with these guys, which is pretty badass. Now, his car and my new car, they're a little more on the race car side, but you have to be. You have to be a little bit lighter. These guys, Cletus and them, they're making 2,800 horsepower, and their cars weigh probably 3,500. So they have to be making that 2,800 horsepower. Whereas, Brett's trying to push like 1,900, 2,000 through this little tiny ass Coyote, not even a billet block or anything fancy, just a cast block with sleeves, and trying to keep up with these guys. So it was really impressive to see his car out. And I think that's only like the second or third time he's been out. But that's the caliber of car you got to build to be with these guys these days. It's insane. It is insane. Will they outlaw big blocks? I don't know. Joe and I were talking about there's a lot of local races, heads up stuff that, they outlaw big blocks for that reason. It's hard to compete when someone's got, twice the cubic inch. The biggest thing is they can make a certain amount of horsepower on 20 PSI that it takes you, 35 PSI to make on these small motors. So they're not having to lean on them that hard. And when they do need to lean on them, then they're making close to 3,000 horsepower. It's crazy. But for now, that's the rules. And it's, if you fit the rules, you race. And so everybody else just needs to get fucking faster and turn it up. So it motivates me for my new car, and I'm really excited. And I'm going to show you guys here really soon. But that's the caliber of car that we need to be competing with these guys. It's insane. Really happy with how Barry did with the new car. Like I said, we worked through some struggles, and I'm really excited to go, hopefully, might be, going to World Cup with him. If not, we'll help him out remotely, try and do what we can. But that car, it's got so much potential. I wish I could explain to you guys, because it went 770 at like 177 on the last pass. And it was down like probably 200-300 horsepower from what it should have been after looking at the data logs with Joe. And it actually, the intercooler was really hot. It was 180. We're going to fix that. But there were some other things going on. I'm just like, God, man, the potential of this car is so crazy. We just, we got to figure it out and dial it in. And that's, that's part of racing. And that's kind of what separates the fast guys from the slow guys. Like, we got to be out testing, figuring this combo out. That way when we go to these big races, we're ready. A lot of people test in the background, or they break shit, or they replace shit and they don't show you. And then they show up to a race and they're flying. And you're like, damn, they just be flying all the time. Like, no, there's a lot of testing and a lot of money and time spent in the background to get these cars where they are. We just happen to be in a rush, all the damn time, it seems like. And we're showing up to these big races untested. So that's one thing Joe and I talked about. Is like, man, if we want to be a top tier program, Coyote Direct, Streetcar Joe Fab, we need to be out testing these things before we go to these big races. So that's kind of things we're learning and things we're trying to improve on. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed all the FL2K content. I had a blast over there with Kennedy, and we got to take the dogs to the beach. It was so much fun. And then we got to see all of our friends that we don't get to see unless we go to these races. The weather was awesome. So if you haven't been out to Victor Alvarez's event, FL2K, I highly recommend y'all go. We always drive from Texas. It is worth the drive. It's an awesome event. But yeah, it was super fun. We're back home, back to reality. Got to get working on these cars. My old car is coming in the next couple days because we got to, like I said, we got to get it upgraded. And then we'll be revealing my new car in the next couple days. And we're going to be full force on that thing here in the next week or two. We're going to be eyes focused on that thing. So make sure you guys stick around. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check us out, coyotedirect.com. Or if you need parts that you don't see on the website because I haven't had time to update it, email me, david@coyotedirect.com. See you guys on the next one.